So guys, let's create a new project. We are going to call it Recyclerview tutorial. Just a short tutorial for us to understand the how Recyclerview works, because it's part of our course, so that we'll not be confused whenever we see how we are using Recyclerview in the course. So once our project is finished syncing, but before then, we are going to be using Glide library to be able to view images, because Android Studio, you cannot just view image like that. You need a library that will help you to view image in your Android apps. So we have Picasso and we have Glide. So we are going to be using Glide. So let's go to the website. This is the link. This is the website. So we're going to copy the dependency and paste it in our build.gradle. Then after then, we are going to sync our project. Let's go to our build.gradle and paste it. So come down. I think our project is still syncing. So let's just wait a while. So come below here and paste it and sync our project. So after then, once everything is okay, we're going to design the XML part of it. We are going to be using a relative layout. So after then, we'll remove this text view and bring in Recyclerview. So we say Recyclerview as match parents, height and width as match parent. We'll give it an ID mRecyclerview. So once this is done, the next thing we need to proceed further is to create a layout, which we are going to specify how we want our Recyclerview to be. This is one of the important part of custom Recyclerview. So call a list of users. So what we need from the user is we need the user to display the image. We want to display the image and want to display the name. So we are going to be using card view. Then after, we'll give it some property, which is corner radius 8dp and card elevation 8dp. So after then, we proceed further. We are going to be using let's make it wrap content, so that it should not cover the whole space. So we use linear layout. It will be the linear layout that will be holding the image view and the name. So we set it as horizontal, because the image will be on one side and the name will be on one side. So we use image view for the image. We set some width and height 40 dp, and we give it an ID of img person. Then we are going to be using a vector asset to keep as the placeholder. So the vector asset, we are going to be using this one called person. So we set source as person, so it will display just for us to know where the image is going to show. So let's just set some property, margin left as 10 dp. Now we work on the text view for the name. We'll set it as wrap content. Now remember that the image will be on the left hand side while the name will be on the right hand side. So we just need to make it bold. Then we'll give it a text called name. So looking at it, I think everything should be all right. So we just need to come to the main activity and so let's give it a view, so that it will give a line between each users, so that it should look little bit the design should look a little bit better. So we are using view for that, to separate each user from the other. So let's come to our main activity to just display it as temporal for us to see how it's going to be. So we use this list item. So you can see this is the way it is. So looking at it, everything looks okay. So I will see you in the next video. So guys, we have just worked on our layouts, so on our design. Let's work on the function. We'll just create a model called user. So this model is just to specify what we need, which is the image and the name. So you know what model is in Java. I don't need to break down everything. So we just need to bring in constructor. We need to bring in the constructor. Then we'll bring in the getters and the setters, so that we can access it outside of this class. So looking at this is okay. So we need to create a view holder. Now the view holder is to link our list users with the Recyclerview adapter. So this view holder is going to extend Recyclerview.viewHolder. So we just create a constructor matching super. Then we set public image view. We'll call it image public. Now this is, as I told you, is just linking the list of users in the XML layout with the Recyclerview. So we set also for name, which is as a text view. So we find view by ID. We'll bring in the ID. We're using find view by ID to link it with the layout. So let's also do the same for the image view. We have done for the image view. Now the text view. So we set find view by ID arrow.id.txt_name. So just to confirm. Alright, so we set it as public so that we can access it. So let's create a Recyclerview adapter. So the Recyclerview adapter is going to connect with the Recyclerview holder before everything will work. So it's going to extend Recyclerview adapter, Recyclerview.adapter, which is going to bring in the Recyclerview, the user view holder. Then we implement method. Just follow this step. So we need to bring in some properties. We bring in the context and we bring in the users. We are going to set the users as a list. So we'll call users list is equal to list users list. So we create a constructor for it. I'll press OK. So next thing, we are going to set count view user list.size. So this will loop through the list of users. So we set a view. View is equal to layout view, layout inflector dot from this context. So this line of code is to help us link the list of users, which is in the XML layout, with the Recyclerview, so that it will display in the main activity with the help of the Recyclerview. So let's bring in on the unbind view holder. We're going to bring in the users model. We'll just set it as a variable called users model. Let it get an item according to the position of the item in the Recyclerview. So we use glide to bring in the image view. So we set glide.width on this context dot load. The URL just to get the images according to the model class. Then we set it into the image view. Then we bring in holder.name, which is from our list of users in the XML. Then we use user model.get name. So looking at everything is alright, but if you don't understand, please post in the question and answer forum. So our adapter is set. So we're not going to finish everything in this video. So on our next video, we are going to complete everything. So see you next. So guys, we're almost done with our Recyclerview tutorial. So on this point, we just need to bring in some property, which is the users model as a list, and we bring in the user adapter so that we can link it with the Recyclerview. So we bring in the Recyclerview, which we are going to link it to the XML which is using find view by ID. So all these things we are going to do here just to display information to the user. So let's proceed. So the next thing, we are going to set the recycler view as a fixed size. We set the fixed size to be true. So we set it, the recycler view does set linear layout. Now recycler view do have grid layout, but we are going to be using linear layout in this video. So we set user list is equal to new array list. It should be in form of, it should be an array list. Then we set adapter is equal to new Recyclerview Adapter, which is, then we now bring in this context, which is main activity.this, then user list. Then looking at this, everything is okay. We need to create a method, which this method, so before then, let's set Recyclerview.set adapter. So we need to create a method which we are going to add all the data we are going to display on the Recyclerview. So I have some images which I've already created. I've already downloaded from the internet that I will be using. So we just need to, all this image, we're going to display them and the name. Now we are using a dummy data because we are not using it, we are not displaying anything from the internet. But when we, on our REST API tutorial, on our REST API course, we are going to be displaying it from our backend. So we set user list.add, which is new user list. Now we bring in all the images which is in the drawable folder. The next thing we are going to set is the name. So let's proceed to do all these things. So all these are the data which we are going to display on the main activity.xml. But on our course, we are going to display everything from our REST API, which is the main way, the proper way which it need to be done. But on this point, I'm only showing you how Recyclerview is being created, how Recyclerview, a custom Recyclerview, is being constructed. So let's set all these dummy data which we are going to display. But remember, you cannot just display dummy data on a Recyclerview, but you need to, because you need to follow all the procedures which I've taught you. So this is all the procedures that I've taught you are the ways that Recyclerview is being created. It need to have a layout to display the way the list of items need to be arranged, then an adapter, then a model. In some cases, some don't used to have model, but because all these things will be used in our course, that's the reason why I'm trying to teach you all these things, so that when we start going through the course, you will not see all these things as new things. So let's keep creating all this name that we need. All these are dummy name, dummy data. So after all these are being done, we'll just run our app and you will see that everything will be displayed. And this is just a way of creating a custom list, a custom Recyclerview in Android, which is as simple as that. So I think everything is all right. Let's run our app and see how it's going to be. So if there's anything you don't understand, please post in the question and answer forum, and do let me know. If I'm somehow fast, you can make the video to be somehow slow. Udemy has a place for that, an option for making video to be slow. If there's anything you don't understand also, please let me know. I think at this point everything is all right. Our Recyclerview adapter, Recyclerview is done. So I will see you in the main course.